Hello, guys, and welcome back to our channel. My name is Mohit, and welcome to Dude's Banter. So, I was missing for the past 21 days because I had my exams and also some work related things due to which we were not able to record or upload any videos. So, yes, I am back on behalf of this channel, and in this video, I think we'll be discussing about the updated ICC playing conditions which they shared recently a couple of days ago. And there were a lot of things that happened in cricket since the last time, I think, since the end of the IPL. And yeah, I think we missed a couple of things, and I'll try to cover that in this video as well with a short summary. So without further ado, let's dive into the video. So, guys, the things which I wanted to talk about for the first thing is that WTC final. Congratulations to South Africa on their first ICC trophy, and it was a big thing for them because Australia were clearly the favorites to go into the final game of the WTC, and they were eventually, what do you say? They were dominated by South Africa clearly because the performance which they had in the final was really commendable because South Africa, as we know, that they are one of the teams that are not able to cross that final hurdle or that final step they could not take. But eventually they have taken, and Temba Bavuma is the first South African captain, I think, to win an ICC trophy, if I'm not wrong, or an ICC event. So kudos to South Africa for becoming the WTC champions for the previous cycle. And with that, the new cycle has also started, and there are a couple of, not couple, I think uh, 3 or 4 games have taken place. And first of all, India versus England, the series has been renamed and it has been changed from Pataudi Trophy to Anderson Tendulkar Trophy or Tendulkar Anderson Trophy. You can comment below the exact name. And England has won the first game very comprehensively by 5 wickets. They were given a target of 370 or 350. I don't remember exactly. Somewhere along that lines. So England chased it very comfortably, courtesy of Ben Duckett's 149. And India also had 5 centurions in that game. Actually, I'll try to make a separate video on this, so we'll discuss that very in detail there. But coming back to the WTC cycle, Sri Lanka and Bangladesh also squared up in a T20 series. Sorry, in a Test series, and Sri Lanka came on top with a 1-0 win in that Test series. One was draw. The first game was a draw, in which Angelo Matthews played his last game of his career. The second match, Sri Lanka won the game and won the series as well. Next series, I think it is between Australia and West Indies. It was a very interesting series, and eventually Australia won the game. But kudos to West Indies, they showed a good fight there. So yeah, that being said, that is it for the WTC cycle currently, which has started. And coming back to the main topic of this video, that is the updated playing conditions. So, there are 5 updated playing conditions which they have shared. So, I'll start with the first one. I'll put this up on the screen as well, if possible. So, the first thing they have said is stop clock has been introduced in Test cricket. We have seen that in T20, the stop clock has been introduced, a 60-minute time, a 60-second timer between overs. So before that timer, you have to start the next over. Otherwise, you will be given a penalty. So we have seen that in T20 games, and I think in ODIs as well. I don't know if it's implemented in ODIs or not, but in T20, we have seen. So that this has been included in the Test cricket as well. So the pointers they have given is that the bowling team will need to be ready to bowl the first ball, as I mentioned, in the next of the next over within 60 seconds of the previous over being completed. So, as I mentioned, if I'll simplify this, if you, I mean, if you are new to cricket or if you don't know, so suppose a team bowls the first over, and after the first over, you just have 60 seconds to start the next over. So the captain has 60 seconds to adjust the field and do whatever the tactics and everything. You just have the 60 seconds to do it. Otherwise, you will be given a penalty at the end of the innings, or the captain might face charges as well for that. So the second one is very interesting. I'm reading it out because I have written it here. So the second one they have said is the deliberate short run. So this is another update which they have added. And they have mentioned that adding to the present 5-run penalty for a deliberate short run, the fielding team will also choose which of the two batters take strike for the next delivery. So to summarize that, I think the rule is that if the two batters are running and if one of them takes a short run deliberately, so the fielding team will have an option that who amongst the two batters who are there, so who amongst them would be facing the next delivery. So this will be a very interesting thing to see if that's a deliberate short run, or I mean short run is a short run, right? I think if deliberately done, I think that's the rule they have set. The name is given deliberate short run. But yeah, I think that's the rule. So that will be very interesting to see. Let's see if this is implemented, or when does this get implemented, and it will be very interesting to see the events that transpire after this incident. So the next rule they have said is the number of balls per innings in ODIs. So as per rule, two new balls will be used for the first 34 overs of the ODI innings, and after which the fielding team will choose one of the balls for the remaining overs. So the first 34 overs of an ODI game, out of the 50, the first 34 overs, uh, each end will have one ball. So technically, if you see, the both the balls will be 17 overs old, not 17 years old. So after that, the fielding team will have an option out of the two balls, which of the ball they want to use for the remaining 16 overs. So this will be very interesting to see, because in the death overs you will be using a used ball. So that also depends on the wear and tear of the ball, of both the balls in the 17 overs each, which they will be used. So yeah, that will be really interesting to see, and let's hope we get to see that. So the next rule is boundary catches, and we Indians clearly remember, and coincidentally today is the date last year this incident happened, due to which India lifted the T20 World Cup. If you might remember the Surya Kumar Yadav catch, which he caught the ball, went outside the boundary, he was going outside the boundary, threw the ball in, went outside and came running in to catch the ball. So this rule is related to that only. So it is named boundary catches. So as per ICC, what they have mentioned is after catching the ball while airborne beyond the boundary, a fielder must land and remain within the boundary. The fielder, after making the first contact with the ball and subsequently leaves the field of play, can only make contact with the ball once more while airborne beyond the boundary. Having done so, they must land and remain wholly within the boundary. This applies even if another player completes the fielding. So what they have said is, uh, take the example of the Surya Kumar Yadav catch, because I am not coming up with any other examples. If you know remember any, so you guys can comment below as well. So what they have said is, the Surya Kumar in context of that Surya Kumar catch. So when he caught the ball, he was inside the boundary, and when he threw the ball, actually he did not touch the ball outside the boundary, but just for the context of it, just for the example. So once he is trying to go outside the boundary with his momentum, so he can throw the ball in the air. Once he is outside the boundary, he can jump once, and only one attempt he'll get to throw the ball in while he is airborne outside the boundary. And to catch the ball, he must come into the boundary. So technically, if you see, it's a very interesting rule because we have seen some moments where the players have touched the ball a couple of times, more than once actually, outside the boundary while airborne as well, all the time. So I think to reduce that or not get that advantage to the fielder, I think this rule has been introduced. So it will be very interesting to see this rule because these rules are very interesting actually, and I think let's see what we can expect from them. And the final updated playing condition which they have shared is about the concussion protocols. So now the teams will have to nominate their designated concussion replacements before for the match. A player diagnosed with a concussion during the match must also observe a minimum stand down period of 7 days before returning to play. So this rule says that the teams will have to name the concussion substitutes for the match before the match itself. And if a player is out with a concussion, so he'll have to have a cool down period of 7 days before returning to play. So a week time, he'll have to give a week's time, and after that, only he is eligible to play. So I think these rules are very interesting. Comment below which rule you found very interesting out of these five rules. And yeah, I think this is it for this one. And we'll have a good discussion in the comments below. So you also mentioned that what which among the five rules you found it interesting. So until next time, thanks for watching.